not a secret that caviar is expensive. A tin of even the simplest caviar can cost pretty much. As for super expensive caviar, those are only the millionaires and royals who can afford it themselves. How does it look like? What peculiarities does it have? How's it produced? You'll learn all that and more in this edition. Imagine you have $115,000. That's a pretty good amount of money, isn't it? With such a sum, you can buy an expensive car, brand clothes so they don't fit into several closets, or buy just a kilogram of the most expensive caviar in the world. What's interesting is it's not black but golden. Later on you'll understand why. A kilogram of this product costs $113,600. However, there is different information. Just 1 teaspoon of this caviar costs $40,000, and a kilogram is estimated at $300,000. No matter how you look at it, the caviar is very expensive. Only the very rich people can afford it. The Stratarga Bianco caviar is produced in Austria. The rich people and gourmets should thank Walter Gruel for the caviar, as that's his product. But why is it so expensive? There are several factors. The main one is that the caviar is extracted from the albino belugas. This fish is considered extremely rare. On top of that, Walter uses only older albino belugas caviar because their eggs are more elegant, smoother, and tastier. The second factor is that the albino belugas are not bred and kept in some kind of farms, but in ecologically clean rivers, taking origin from mountain glaciers. As Walter assures, this makes the caviar not only cleaner but also medically healthier. It's even better at boosting the immune system in humans. When the beluga is ready to spawn, Walter takes it out and makes a cut. That's nothing surprising in it. All the caviar in the world is extracted in the same way. More important is what happens next. After collecting, the eggs are dehydrated. As a result, the mass of the final product is reduced 5-fold. In other words, if one fish gives 5 kilograms of caviar, it will produce only a kilogram of caviar for sale. But that's not all. Before being sold, the caviar goes through one more stage. It's rubbed with edible 24-karat gold leaf. The result is the powdered mixture of dried caviar with gold. Now you can pack the product in beautiful jars and sell them to the rich. As Walter says, the golden yellow powder can be sprinkled on the buttered toast, added to risotto or pasta, or best of all, simply eaten with a spoon. Would you like to try some of this expensive caviar? I realize the price tag is extremely high. By the way, this price is justified by the edible gold. Thanks to this ingredient, it's possible to sell caviar for good money. At the same time, you can also try the almas caviar. In fact, it's practically the same as Stratarga Bianco, but without gold. But even so, it comes at an exorbitant price. Almas is one of the most expensive kinds of caviar in the world. The price per kilogram varies from $25,000 to $35,000. As you can see, this caviar is not black but white or golden, and that's right, it's produced by albino belugas. Basically, the production process here is the same as with the record-breaking caviar. The Iranian albino belugas, with only a few specimens left in the world, are raised in special reservoirs or mountain rivers until they grow up and old. Of course, all this time the fish are carefully looked after and cared for, so they bring the best possible product. When the beluga starts throwing eggs at an advanced age, the fish are taken out of the water and its eggs are extracted. After processing, the eggs are packed into jars that are made using pure 24-karat gold. The jars often even come with a special key to open them so that consumers do not break their fingernails. Gourmets say the almas caviar has a silky surface and a delicate, slightly brackish flavor. It also tastes like almonds. Caviar has no impurities, doesn't repel with its fishy odor, what makes it perfect. Bear in mind that if you suddenly have extra money for this delicacy, it's not a fact that you'll be able to buy it right now. Only a few dozens of kilograms of such caviar are produced per year, so there's a queue for almas and even pre-ordered several years ahead. No matter how top-notch the caviar I've just told you about is, it's still nowhere near as famous as the ordinary black caviar. This product is associated with something luxurious, very expensive, and aristocratic. Such caviar costs a lot, but it's difficult to disclose a specific price tag. I can only say that this food wallops the wallet hard. How is this product produced? Well, it's usually done on special caviar farms by slaughtering. This method of production is considered the best. Many factories work on the principles of from egg to egg. First, the sturgeons go spawning, then they have caviar. However, the eggs are not extracted for sale, they're used to raise other fish. When the young fish has grown a little older and stronger, they come to a tank. There are plenty of such tanks on the farms, more than 100 of them. They maintain the optimal water temperature and have devices that feed the fish every few hours. In addition, the workers regularly analyze the condition of the sturgeons with the help of ultrasound. If some fish already have their eggs and the workers believe the fish are ready, they're sent to the wintering pond. This is the name given to a tank with cold running water. The fish live there for 2 months, starving and freezing. Unfortunately, this is a necessary stage. It's only the hard wintering that helps eliminate extraneous odors and improve the quality of eggs. It's worth noting that on good farms and factories, fish are not given any injections, accelerating their spawning or increasing egg sizes. For the caviar to be good, everything should go as naturally as possible. After wintering, the fish are checked once again to make sure the eggs are ripe and comply with the quality norms. To do this, the fish are slightly cut. Then the workers look at the eggs. If their size is less than 3 millimeters, the fish are released back into the cold pool to ripen. If the size and quality are suitable, the eggs are removed and the fish is slaughtered as humanely as possible. The eggs are weighed, sorted by their color, size, shell strength, odor, and flavor. Next, the eggs are washed to remove the films and anything unnecessary. The washed caviar is quickly transferred to a sieve and put to a drain. Following that, it's exposed to salting. In good factories, the black caviar is salted just a little to preserve it and prolong its life. In bad factories, caviar can be salted and preserved to an extent that it will lose all flavor and quality. Immediately after salting, caviar is tested in the laboratory for harmful elements and microorganisms. Its consistency, color, smell, and taste are assessed. A test report is issued for each batch of caviar, guaranteeing the quality and safety of the product. When all stages are over, the product is packed into glass or lacquered metal jars. They're sealed by a vacuum sealing machine and sent to stores and restaurants. There are many such farms in the world. In large countries, there can be up to 100 farms producing caviar. And there are super farms. For example, Agroitica Lombarda Group. It's located in northern Italy and considered a world record holder. This farm alone produces at least 15% of the world's caviar. Among other things, it produces caviar from the albino belugas. Last year, 600 tons of caviar were produced worldwide. More than 10% of it came from this farm, as well as several other Italian factories. The farm has an amazing scale. There are entire lakes and rivers here, not just pools and tanks set up under a roof. These rivers are used to raise a wide variety of the sturgeon species. Some of them can reach 13 feet in length. By the way, sturgeons are generally considered to be among the largest freshwater fish on the planet. There have been cases when people caught belugas weighing more than 1.5 tons. All major standards are observed at the farm. The climate is also favorable. Fish of different generations live here, from young fish to adults about 20 years old. It's the adults that are used for the production of the black or white caviar. Otherwise, the manufacturing process here is the same as the one I told you about. Ultimately, when you've already heard about the caviar and seen how it's produced, the only thing left is to learn how to eat it properly. You may wonder what's to learn. You take a spoon, scoop, and eat it or spread it on something tasty. Otherwise, you're not right. More specifically, not every spoon will go. A standard silver one, for example, is not really suitable. Firstly, it can damage and tear the caviar. Secondly, this metal can change the taste of the caviar, and it will not reveal its full flavor potential. It's better to take caviar with a special spoon. This cutlery is made of such inert materials as mother of pearl, gold, animal horns, glass, crystal, and wood. No oxidation, change of flavor, and other things should not happen with this spoon. Using such a spoon, it's possible to put the caviar on some appetizer or on your hand. You can eat it right from there, as if you were licking salt before drinking tequila. It's believed that the body heat brings out the flavor and one can taste all the nuances of this delicacy. Later on, I suggest that we should go to the ocean and look at the frightening creatures that were shot on camera. Let's start right away with a picture that my subscriber sent me. According to him, it happened somewhere in Australia during a fishing trip. His friends were fishing when suddenly this terrifying creature appeared out of the water. It looked like a giant squid was going to eat people, but luckily it didn't, and the creature dived peacefully back into the depths. Of course, this photo raises a lot of questions. How was it taken in the first place? Where exactly did it happen? Are there any witnesses? And so on. But there are no answers yet. So I suggest you write in the comments what you think about this. Do you believe in this huge squid, or in your opinion, is this a fake? Mr. Terrible Claw. I don't think you need any additional introduction or explanation of the essence of the creature. Everyone knew at once that there was something wrong with the crayfish's claw. Well, to be exact, instead of it has a huge chainsaw relative to its size. And surprisingly, because of this, scientists still can't understand the purpose of this claw, because its size doesn't allow using it for the usual purpose for crustaceans. The only assumption scientists have is that the claw is needed by the crayfish for sifting silt, as the animal leads a scavenger lifestyle. In any case, fortunately for ordinary fans of seas and oceans, we will not encounter such a strange creature. This crayfish lives about 1,600 feet under the water. Although it would be more correct to say it survives there, the fact is that it is completely blind. For orientation, this unusual creature uses long antennae and sensilla, peculiar hairs all over its body. Let me see. When people go underwater in special cages, they want to encounter dangerous marine predators in person. For example, they want to see sharks. Such an encounter brings a lot of adrenaline, even if people and sharks are separated by a cage. Nevertheless, there are thrill seekers who are ready to encounter predators face-to-face without any obstacles. That's exactly the kind of person who took this footage. At one point, the shark in the video swam so close to him that it almost swallowed the camera. But it didn't, and the fish went on its way. I don't know about you, but I would never dare to dive like that. Black dragon. Some people might even find the chainsaw crayfish cute. A lot of people are more or less used to sharks. Mystique impresses not everyone, and that's why I decided to show you a creature that will surely make even the most unimpressive viewer horrified. This creature is called Idiocanthus, or the black dragon, and it lives at depths of up to 6,500 feet. I think that if this fish were in the movies, it would definitely win the Oscar for best makeup, well, not having any makeup at all. However, to me, what makes it special is not even that scary appearance. The fish doesn't have any scales, but is covered with a special, unique slime. This mucus glows in the dark, and it covers the mouth, the eyes, and many other parts of the body. With the help of this, the fish, let's say, hypnotizes the other underwater inhabitants. Its body shimmers. In addition, the black dragon has a built-in fishing rod, which makes the creature a top deep-sea hunter. The so-called fishing rod is right under its very nose, literally and figuratively. It glows, which is why the prey, without realizing it, fall into the trap in the blink of an eye. But the most frightening thing in this creature is not any part of the body. Separately, I'd like to single out the females. Usually in the wild, females are just larger than males. Sometimes they can eat them and so on, but here Mother Nature has really done a great job. It gifted the female black dragon with crooked, like a doctor's handwriting, teeth, and an eternally open mouth from which the teeth stick out. It just looks insanely creepy. Yeah, no male is sure to want to come athwart a female with such a frightening look. Toothed creature. It's a wolffish, and it has a very beautiful smile. It's so dazzling, in fact, that even this crab had no time to comprehend it before it found itself in the fish's teeth. It's not possible to get out of there at all, no matter how strong the zeal for life the fish prey may have. Adults are so strong that they can easily bite a harpoon or a shovel handle in half. Also, wolffish crack shells with their jaws like nuts. Under these conditions, the fish have to change their teeth once a year. Usually it happens in winter, and instead of the teeth that have fallen out, new ones grow, which in a month and a half can fully perform their functions. You can count for yourself how many such cycles of loss and new growth the wolffish goes through. After all, if the fish is not caught in a fisherman's net, it, according to experts, can live up to 20 years. Come here. That's what the octopus said in this video and clung to the man with all its dozens of suction cups. It's clear to everyone that the creature tried to attack the diver, but because of too great a difference in size, it failed to do so. On the contrary, such an attack only played into the diver's hands. They got unforgettable emotions and unique footage. But wait a minute, maybe it wasn't an attack at all. Maybe the octopus used the man as a bus. It clung to it, swam some distance, and got off at the stop it needed, slipping away between the pebbles at the bottom. Sarcastic fringehead. This ray-finned fish lives in cracks and crevices of underwater rocks. It has, to put it mildly, an unusual appearance. But that's not all. The fish also got a very bad temper. It's quite aggressive. Defending its territory, it can even attack a diver. But due to its small size, it cannot cause serious harm to a human, except that it will tear the diving suit with its teeth. Nevertheless, it will do everything to frighten an intruder. That's exactly what happened in our video. This time, two sarcastic fringeheads came face to face and began to test each other for stress resistance. Each creature took turns opening its mouth and trying its best to scare its opponent, making sounds, dynamic vibrations, and jerking a bit. In the end, it didn't lead to any fight, but there were definitely prerequisites for it. But in the fight with the crab, it came to action. Though it was hardly a fight, the little baby crab was an easy prey for the sarcastic fringehead, as it could possibly be. The fish swallowed it in one nimble jerk. The maximum the crab did to it was sit in its mouth for a couple of seconds, making it feel uncomfortable a bit. It's understandable since the crab had a tiny size, and the mouth of the fish is able to open much wider than its own head, uncovering an unusual jaw covered with lots of pointed teeth. If you do not want to encounter such a creepy creature, just don't come to Mexico and do not go under the water at a depth of more than 230 feet. It's simple. I love diving for the moments like this. People say, yeah, dive in our cages, they're safe. You'll get a lot of positive emotions. You'll remember this experience forever and encounter real sharks face to face. It's pretty much how it is. Except I don't think I'll remember the diving because I have a feeling I won't get out of there, especially considering the kind of cages they're making nowadays. And this video is another proof of that. The fish somehow magically got into the cage as if it were a Hogwarts wizard. But seriously, it just broke through the cage at breakneck speed. People tried to help the predator get out of there, but it succeeded without their participation and help. That's pretty much the end of the video. But the best part was just further. A man got out of that same cage after the shark. He was there the whole time. Are you kidding me? How's that even possible? Seems to me that after this incident, the man would definitely not want to dive in a cage. You got adrenaline for several lifetimes to come. Later on, I'll tell you what the biggest whale on our planet is capable of. First, let's run through the largest whales in history. It's believed that the record holder in terms of length was caught in 1926 near the South Shetland Islands in Antarctica. No footage of the capture has survived, but believe me, the whale was very large. It was a female blue whale, which was 110 feet long. In terms of weight, whalers have repeatedly caught blue whales weighing 150 tons or more. One of the largest was a blue whale caught off South Georgia in 1947. Its weight was about 190 tons. This is very impressive, but it's not the limit yet. It's believed that the heaviest, and therefore the largest, blue whale in the world came to people's attention relatively recently. In September 2012, it swam into the coastal waters of Australia and was caught on camera. Since the capture of whales is now banned, no one was able to weigh and measure the whale properly. But scientists reviewed the footage and concluded that the giant could have weighed more than 200 tons. If so, then this is an absolute record. However, it's possible that even heavier whales swim in the ocean. Now, let's move on to the species. It's no secret that the largest whale in the world is the blue whale, and you've just seen it once again. But it's not quite that simple. In fact, the blue whale is not some ultimate creature. This species is divided into three subspecies: the pygmy blue whale, the northern blue whale, and the Antarctic blue whale. And it's the Antarctic subspecies that's the largest in the entire world. It's the largest animal right now and even in the history of the world. It's among the representatives of this subspecies that record-breaking individuals have been found. For Antarctic blue whales, it's normal to weigh more than 150 tons and grow up to 100 feet or more. Although on average, ordinary blue whales grow up to only 82 to 85 feet in length and weigh about 100 to 120 tons. The Antarctic blue whale lives in the southern hemisphere. It's mainly found in the coastal waters of Antarctica. Scientists have repeatedly stumbled upon these giants in the cold waters, and each time they were impressed. The size of the southern blue whale alone can be shocking. But what is this giant even capable of? Well, first, it can eat a lot of food. A lot of food. The blue whale feeds on krill and plankton. It scoops up water with crustaceans, closes its mouth, squeezes the water back through the baleen with its tongue, and swallows the plankton. The giant can ingest over 132 pounds of plankton at a time. The blue whale eats from 4 to 8 tons of krill per day, which is about 40 million crustaceans. Its tightly stuffed stomach can hold up to a ton of food, and if the giant is completely full, its stomach can hold up to 3 tons of krill. If blue whales had always kept such a diet, their weight would have exceeded 500 tons long ago. There would simply be no krill left in the world. But fortunately for everyone, the blue whale does not eat like this all the time, but only about 4 months a year. All the rest of the time, these mammals can do with only rare snacks or even starve. By the way, you should not worry that a blue whale can eat a person. Firstly, these animals are not evil and not predatory. And secondly, despite their size, the throat of the blue whale is small, about 4 inches in diameter. Not even a baby can fit through there. Nevertheless, a blue whale can accidentally suck a person into its mouth, swallowing plankton, and then swim away to the depths. Only in this case, a person can become a victim of the blue whale, dying from lack of oxygen or drowning. But let's not talk about that. Let's take a look at this big creature's heart. Look how big its heart is. It weighs about 440 pounds and can be as tall as a human. Because the blue whale's heart is gigantic, it beats slowly, sometimes only 2 beats per minute, but that's at rest. Normally, the blue whale's heart rate is between 5 and 20 beats per minute. Blue whales are also very loud. Their cries and chants reach a volume of 190 decibels. That's about the same volume as a rocket taking off into space. Sometimes the sounds of the blue whale can be heard up to 1,000 miles away. People do not go deaf only because whales live deep enough and a considerable volume is low frequencies that the human ear doesn't perceive. Arctic blue whales, as well as all blue whales in general, are amazing creatures that can be talked about for a very long time. But I suggest we stop here for now and talk about different whales and interesting facts about these creatures. Keep watching, it'll be interesting. When we talk about whales, we always picture huge creatures, but not all whales are large. There is the exact opposite of Antarctic blue whales. For example, the pygmy right whale. This is the smallest whale in the world. It rarely exceeds 20 feet in length, and it weighs only 3 tons. For a whale, this is a tiny size. Just remember, sometimes you can find 3 tons of krill in the stomach of a blue whale, and the tongue of a blue whale alone weighs more than the entire pygmy right whale. This whale lives in the southern waters of the planet, including off Antarctica. Unlike a blue whale, it's not easy to encounter a pygmy right whale. This whale is quite rare and unsociable, rarely rises above the water, and does not like to let scientists near it, because of which this species is very poorly researched. But it's not as bad as in the case of the whale, which has been seen live just a couple or 3 times in general. I'm talking about the spade-toothed whale. It's the rarest of all whales. It's so rare that one can say that it's not been studied at all. The first descriptions of the whale date back to the second half of the 19th century. This whale was observed only a few times, and the animal itself was studied mainly by bone fragments. When one day a spade-toothed whale washed ashore, it was a gift for scientists. They were able to study the species at least a little, even though it was already dead. That's all, guys. Have you ever seen whales in person? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.